This is where I'll make my heroic mark, where I will gain the respect and admiration and slack-jawed awe of my heroic peers. Okay, KO, let's be a hero today.
It's finally here. Okay, KO, let's play Heroes on PS4, Xbox One, and PC. It's a game where it's like an RPG where you go around talking to people, and then you get into random encounters, and it's not turn-based. It's sort of like a fighting beat-em-up game. It's based on a Cartoon Network show. So, Jay, what did you think of OK KO, Let's Be Heroes?
Well, Pan, I thought it was a great game.
My name's not Pan, it's Mike. Shh.
Mike and Jay?
Yes. Shh.
All right, Mike.
No one must know.
No one must know.
Yes, but I thought it was a good game, but it could have been a lot better, and I don't know, I'm not big into RPGs, but I kind of didn't like the RPG sort of exploring to it, but it's a very easy RPG where it's like, you almost never feel lost. They tell you exactly where to go, but there are times where it's a little too cryptic and you're not sure where to go.
Yeah, like with the missions, like some missions are very, like, I guess show specific, if that makes sense. They'll tell you, you need to find a character that's logical. If you've never seen OKKO, you're gonna sit here and think like, logical? Who's logical? Who's smart? And then they have a character named Mr. Logic, who's a robot, and you got to go to him.
Well, I mean, I've seen the show, but I forgot that character because he's not in the show that often.
Yeah,
and so it was like, who's logical? It's like, Enid? No. Dendi? No.
Gar? Like, you know.
For the most part, it's pretty easy. There's just a few times where it just gets a little
cryptic, yeah.
Yeah, but things that I like is the actual combat. Like, I'm okay with the RPG thing, but the combat is what I really love. It kind of reminds me of Astro Boy Omega Factor, where it's very snappy. Like, all the combos are based on direction, so like up punch, down punch, holding punch up, stuff like that. It's very easy to get into, and like, I love when you can just throw a character at another character and they take damage. It's a really good system.
Yeah, I like the idea of weapons being used against your characters. Like, say like a robot will shoot a missile and you could hop out the way or punch the missile out the way and it'll hit, you know, another enemy, and I think that's really cool. Just like,
yeah, because they give the enemies a lot of health bars, and sometimes they team attack each other, so that kind of balances out, because the game is a little bit hard, but it's I mean, I didn't die that often, but still the enemies do put up a challenge. There are times where I have exploited a mechanic like up kick, but eventually they're able to like avoid that.
I feel like battles at first, like when you're fighting a Daryl and a Sharon, like at once, those were a little overpowering in my opinion, and I got scared like those were battles you were supposed to lose, you know?
Oh yeah, that's what I was thinking, because like it starts out with just like one battle at a time, one character at a time, but then they throw in 3 characters fighting you at once. It's like, what the hell? The difficulty spiked up. And I was like, oh, it's probably one of those RPGs where you have to lose. You know, it's a story-based thing. It's like, no, you really gotta fight these guys and win. It's like, fuck.
Yeah, like when you're first fighting Raymond or Ernesto, like,
yeah,
like I felt like some of those battles were a little overpowering, and like because they have random encounter, like the boxes scattered around the plaza, that are just, those act as your random encounters, which I like, because you can, you know, it's not much of a, you don't have to really avoid, like in some RPGs where it'll just like come out of you out of the blue, you know?
Here, you know what's coming at you. You just walk up and attack something if you feel like it.
Yeah, like you don't have to, like, I guess, maneuver if you don't really feel like fighting. Like, it's not annoying. And they make a joke about how it's like basically like to grind and stuff, you know?
Yeah. Although the problem with the grinding aspect is like, it's not until like an hour and a half in until like you earn XP. Like, you don't earn that many coins in the game. You don't earn as much XP, and I find that really strange. Like, that should have been from the beginning, but it kind of like feels like you're not really progressing when you don't earn XP until an hour and a half into the game. And once I got to level 3, like, it took forever just to get out of, like, leveling up from level 3, and it's like, it just feels a little too slow-paced.
That reminds me of the Persona aspect, like how, in those games, it takes forever to get out of that intro.
Yeah.
And in this one, that's what it kind of felt like. Like, I can definitely see this not being, like, a really speedrunner-friendly game in the future. Also, I feel like the game is very, like, true to the show, because they'll reference episodes in the shows. I mean, not in the show, in the game, like they'll like if you're talking to a character, they'll say, "Oh, so is it gonna be like that one time we did that and it actually happened?" And it's like, that's not really a touch you see much in cartoon video games. Like, this honestly does feel like an extension of the show. Like, to the point where it could be an episode, you know?
I think it's like a separate universe, because I feel like the KO being introduced to his card means it's from a different timeline.
Yeah, because in the episode, it was like he got his card like 5 episodes in. Yeah.
But what do you think of the art style?
It works for the game. I feel like I don't know. When I first saw it on the trailer, I was like, I don't know, but it has that sort of feeling like of pastel crayon, you know?
I mean, the animations are very expressive and stuff. Like there's a lot of just animation details. Like when you punch a character and you combo them, like they have a different pose for when they're being hit. The reason, like, I see a lot of people polarized by the art style, and I see what they were going for. Essentially, like, the creator, Ian Jones-Quartey, he wanted each version of OKKO, like the cartoon, the video games, the random online shorts, to have their own style, to be in their own universe. You know, it's like when you see a different interpretation of Batman, it kind of has, like, an anthology feeling, you know?
Yeah, and, like, I guess, whatchamacallit, they also have their own sort of continuity to them, because...
Yeah.
They kept changing the KO's age.
Yeah, because Ian said that the characters don't have a set ages. They're just like a rough approximation.
No harm in any of that. Good thinking, KO.
The Powie Zowies, that's one of the power-ups. The game kind of has like summonings where you basically activate once you charge up an attack, you summon one of these heroes to help you, and they do like one single attack. Like, I find those pretty useful.
I like them because, I don't know, they don't feel like giant attacks you have to save up for like bosses or something. They literally feel like just nice little combo breaks. I don't know, like something to help out your battle, like, because they don't last long, and it doesn't take much for them to get to you, you know?
I mean, it's good, but one thing that really held it back is that you're going to be fighting the same 5 enemies. Like, this whole game feels like it's stretching out as much as possible with so little content. One good thing is when you fight an enemy from the beginning, they only have like a 1 attack or so, but later on, they start having more and more attacks, so they change up as you go on, but eventually they just run out of new attacks, and it's like, I kind of got annoyed that it's just like the same 5 enemies over and over.
Yeah, I think they could have, like, I guess from what they were working with, you know?
They put so much effort into the animation. They're like, we can't afford to animate any more characters. Let's just use the ones we already have. Because it's kind of a letdown, because, like, okay, KO has tons of interesting characters, but all those interesting characters are just NPCs, and you can only fight, like, 5 of them.
Yeah, like the Daryls, the Raymones. No, I think the one person I was shocked to fight was Ernesto, because you never saw him fight in the show.
He's still a villain.
I didn't think he could fight.
I like how Shannon, when you punch her, this robot girl, she starts yelling "Daddy," which I kind of find really hot.
Yeah, wait, what?
What? Nothing. You know, I don't know. Like you punch this girl. KO is just beating on this woman, and she's just yelling "Daddy" as you hit her, and it's like, this is a little weird, but okay. Sure.
Yeah, Daryl does the same thing, but I think Shannon does it way more than Daryl.
I'm sure it was someone's kink. Like, I punched her like 3 times. This sounds terrible. I punched this robot girl 3 times, and she said "daddy" in like 3 different ways. Like, they recorded multiple takes of her saying "daddy."
That's like, and aren't you supposed to be like I guess older kind of robots? Like, they're not children, essentially.
It's their kink, you know. It's fine. Look,
yeah, like,
they're like, hit me again, okay, KO, hit me harder.
They're not like children robots. They're like, you know, older robots. They just act like children.
Oh no, hang on. This is how Daryl sounds. Hit me again, KO. Oh yeah, just like Daddy.
Hi, Dad. Hey, Dad.
That's him. That's his voice.
Hey, Dad.
Oh no, Daddy, why? This is getting in poor taste.
Dragon Ball Z will return in a moment. to Dragon Ball Z.
The game does take place all in this entire plaza, and it kind of just wears you down. It's like how bit repetitive this game is, and just the same enemies, the same environments. A lot of the characters, like, they don't have anything to say. They just say, "Hey, did you get my POW card yet?"
Yeah, like if you don't have their POW card, they basically it's just all like, yeah, don't fucking talk to me.
Yeah.
Which in this world, that makes me think everyone's a freaking narcissist. Like I won't help you unless you get my POW card.
Yeah, did you buy my T-shirt with my face on it, you asshole? Otherwise, get the fuck out.
I think that kind of hindered it. Like I think you said there wasn't enough coins.
Yeah, there's not enough coins. Like it really does. They are stretching this game out as long as possible, and it feels like there's not enough content to justify it. Because I feel like this game would have been better had they turn this into like just a typical platformer or a fighting game, you know, like Smash Brothers or Astro Boy. Like I love the fighting mechanics, and I feel like it was strong enough to be its own thing, but the rest of the stuff, like, you know, maybe if they spent less money and time on the overworld and the voices and stuff, like they spend more time on the actual fighting mechanics, like I feel it's just a good game that could have been a lot better.
I like it. I really do like it. I'm so used to playing like kind of crappy games, like the new Ben 10 game that came out. Like that's pretty shitty. Like,
oh yeah, the one it doesn't even have a name. It's just Ben 10, the game.
Yeah, it's just like that one's like kind of like just a cash grab. This one I feel like a lot of heart was put into it. Like you can see like they tried with this. They really did try. Cause,
yeah.
I mean, with a show that kind of parodies video games, you would think like, yeah, this makes sense. This goes hand in hand. Like, but I agree with you on it should be a fighting game.
Yeah, because I want to play as Red Action.
Man, Red Action. I want to play as a Shannon.
Oh, you know who's not in the game? Like, I wish they brought the corn guy, the cactus guy.
Oh,
the one who just quoted a bunch of like lyrics from Korn and Evanescence and stuff. Succulentus, yeah. Like, I want him in the game, but he's not. No.
A bloom cactus bloom in the plaza. A bloom cactus bloom in the plaza. A bloom cactus bloom in the plaza. A bloom cactus bloom in the plaza.
They could pull a Street Fighter and just like say, hey, let's just recycle much of these assets and just make a fighting game, because I would be up for that. Or just like Astro Boy Omega Factor, like a side-scrolling beat 'em up where it's just on a single plane.
What'd you think of the plot?
Well, it was like the game is structured like episodes where it's like day 1 do this, day 2 do that. I kind of like find it very comforting how it's just like, oh, the day's done, and like it's nighttime now, and you just gotta walk home, and I find that somewhat soothing. But you know, it's just a typical plot. It's not the end of the world situation, as far as I know. I'm on like day 6 of the game.
It's a typical episode in a way, but also I feel like it's kind of a cop out if you think about it too, for a plot for video games.
What you mean by that?
Like this is the plot they would use for a video game. Like you wouldn't see this really plot in the show. Like everyone's POW cards just get erased.
Yeah, I think that the POW cards aren't necessarily all that important in the show.
Yeah, just all like, because then they say like in the first episode, literally like, when he's gonna realize that levels aren't important, it's like yeah, that kind of feels like a slap in the face in a way. Like,
yeah,
it's just
well,
like,
it's actually kind of, I think that's supposed to be a sort of very niche reference to the Dragon Ball and how, you know, the whole it's over 9,000 his power level. Well,
power level just keeps rising. Yeah.
I think Akira Toriyama said the power levels in Dragon Ball are completely meaningless, so maybe it's supposed to reflect that.
Yeah. Also, I feel like it could have been like, I guess linear, like more open world. It's like you can't even go to like Boxmore just randomly if you want to fight bad guys. Like you can't even do that.
As far
like,
as I know, unless it's like the final level. But
you're very confined to like the plaza. You know, you can't go to Boxmore, but it's like there's like there's set pieces. Like it's not like you can just go there anytime you want.
Let's squash the kid and take the doo-doo to daddy.
You can do this, KO!
But let's go back to things we actually liked about the game.
Oh yeah,
because one thing I really liked are the they don't show up very often, but like the power-ups, well, just random items inside the fighting arenas. Basically like a boomerang. Like you punch the boomerang, it goes forward and attacks all the enemies, and eventually it comes back. And if you want to use that boomerang again, you have to hit it at the right time, and it goes forward again, and it'll come back. And if you miss it, it hits you, which I really like that mechanic.
Yeah. I actually, the one I never got, the anvil, like, I like it, but it's like, I don't know how to get up in the air and hit people with it.
Just do an uppercut.
I like when you hit stuff, like when you call in something or like you hit something.
Yeah, the physics are very satisfying.
Yeah.
Like, again, like it does feel like Astro Boy Omega Factor. And I tweeted Ian Jones-Cordy saying, "Hey, I really like the physics. It reminds me of this game." And he said, "Yep, that's right. One of the Astro Boy Omega Factor was one of the inspirations." It's like, yeah, I know what I'm talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, you nailed it.
You still won't follow me on Twitter. Well, you'll follow Saber Sparks, but not me, asshole.
Joel's girlfriend over here.
Yeah.
It's like, you're on the podcast. Come on.
What the fuck? What did I do? Besides a lot of terrible things, but look, I have done nothing wrong that I don't regret.
You said horrible things about Enid.
Shh.
But,
Enid's nice.
Yeah, I also like the fact that the world shook.
Oh yeah, like when you do like
when you hit stuff and you saw like the force stuff.
Yeah, the background details. Like, I guess one thing they could add is like NPCs just cheering you on like a Street Fighter game.
Yeah, I would. That'd be cool. Like, cause isn't like in the show when they yell power battle, like doesn't everybody just stop what they're doing to go see what's the power battle?
Did they only do that in the pilot? I don't know if they did that in the main show.
Oh, I think they. No, they didn't do it in the main, because I remember one episode where someone challenged and no one was really there.
Yeah.
I think the idea, like they kind of thought of everything in the game too, if you think about it. Like
How so?
Like okay, you can get the power cards and you get duplicates, and you're just thinking like, what am I gonna do with all these duplicates?
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Because it's not guaranteed you're gonna get a new power card every time you go into the machine.
Yeah, so
But you can sell them to Dendy, and I think that's like a good touch. Like that's like, or the Technoids.
That's useful because you barely get any coins in this game. Like all the items are worth like 15 coins, and like you only get paid 6 coins per day. Like that is far below minimum wage. Where are they working?
Well, you think about KO's shift. His shift is only like what, an hour?
I guess it's like like, hey, we gotta babysit this kid, make him think he's actually doing work. Just
yeah.
Like
it's like his shift is an hour, and he's like
in this game, like
does,
the day starts and like KO's about to go to work, and he's like, you know what? Let me go see Dendy. What's she doing? And KO shows up to work like 5 hours later, does like 10 minutes of work, and gets the fuck out of there. Like,
yeah, and it's like I don't like.
What's this kid doing all day?
Also, my thing was, okay, earlier in the game, Carol said, I think you deserve an allowance, and she's gonna give you technos and stuff, and I think she does like one time. So I'm thinking like, oh, so I'm getting like 2 sources of money right here, like I get my job and my allowance, and then like that never came into play.
Yeah.
Like I was like, what the fuck? Like,
it's like, because give us more content. I mean, it feels like there's such a lack of content. Like, what is this, Star Wars Battlefront 2?
Like, I don't feel like there's a lack of content. I feel like there's just a lack of coins. Like, I wish like enemies drop coins, or you could get like a Powie Zowie that like gave you coins.
Yeah, like, oh yeah, the Powie Zowie, that's the real name they're going with. But Powie Zowie, since they're all just one-shot attacks. Like this is my stupid thinking, but in the shop, since the coins are so hard to get and like all these power-ups take a while just to get one, I thought when you get these power-ups from the shop, they're permanent. It's like it's gonna double your coins, and that's why the XP takes forever. It's like, no, they're only one time for one battle. The very next battle you go into battle 2.
Also, did you understand like the stats? Like
oh yeah, there's coolness, there's speed, and strength. I'm not sure what coolness does at all.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was like, do you know what that does? Like,
maybe the coolness is for getting power-ups, I think.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, and you earn some when you talk to Enid and she tells you like cool rules or something?
Oh yeah, I like the character interactions where you can sometimes talk to Enid and she just quizzes you on stupid stuff.
That little dino is an escape artist with a taste for sugary cereal. Can you track her down? Gar asked me to do it, but I figure you could pretend you're on an epic quest and make a day of it.
Consider the dino found, Nid.
Did you just shorten my name to Nid?
No.
You can talk to somebody and you have little choices in your head that you can choose. I love that. I love that style. I think that's a really nice touch. Like you'll look inside KO's brain and it'll have like a clown KO, like I guess a
funny response, a timid response, or like a serious response,
or like a cool response.
Yeah, it doesn't really affect the game, but it's just Just interactions. I like that. I guess the whole goal was sort of an interactive cartoon.
Yeah, like it really does feel like you're playing an episode right out of the show.
We are? Can I play?
Wow! I'm in my very own video game!
So overall, I would say, like, I love the fighting mechanics minus the repetitive characters, and I'm okay with the RPG elements. So, you know, I say it balances out to a good game that could have been a lot better.
Yeah, I agree. It's a good, I guess, starter game for the series. Like, they can definitely expand on these concepts, and it could get better.
Yeah, it just feels like they're trying their best to, like, make the most out of their 5 enemy types.
For the asking price, isn't like the asking price like $20? Like, yeah, I think it's a good bargain.
Yeah, I guess it's worth it if you like Astro Boy Omega Factor or maybe Final Fantasy, because that's what the overworld map kind of reminds me of. That sort of multi-camera angle thing.
And if you like the show, yep.
Please make a fighting game and let me play as Witch Enid and also like Enid when she has the Naruto jacket, please. Yeah, alternate costumes. Although that would be a pretty hard.
Yeah, we all want on to.
Although alternate costumes would be really hard for a 2D animated game, so I don't know. Yeah, unless they go for the 60, make it look like a 64 game.
Oh yeah. Final thoughts. Yeah, it's a good game. It maybe in the future they can expand on some of this stuff, like the idea of fighting game or alternate costumes, or just maybe make a full-on blow-on like $60 like big budget game,
Yeah, because Adventure Time is finally gonna do that, some sort of a 3D adventure game. But I thought it was gonna be like a Wind Waker game because you're surfing on the ocean, but it looks like a take turns RPG.
Let's just be thankful this game was not a retro throwback, like graphically, it wasn't
graphically. Yeah, it's not another pixel art game. At least it goes for its own style. But I can see why people are mad about the style. I'm fine with the designs for everyone except Red Action. I don't like her face.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, but this is good for $20.
I can't recommend it enough.
Yeah, so that's all. Goodbye, everyone. Say bye.
Peace.
Okay.
Mommy! Blah, 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 blah.
Don't you want a rematch?
You know their names. Now see the show that started it all. Earth's Greatest Warriors. Only smaller. All new episodes of Dragon Ball. Next.
Master Roshi, get off the toilet!
I said hold on!
You're stinky.
They're so cute at that age. Only to mommy.